All right, I'll have the new connection up hopefully soon. Let me just get this sent in community. There you guys are. Hey, Xavier. Hey, Platy. We're all back. Fort Gale. Gotcha. We'll check that one out, too. Also, welcome back. Also, glowstones. Yes, glowstones are going to be an interesting little tool I'm going to be using in the future from now on. Okay, can I look at my... Can I please? There we go. I want to murder an internet connection more than it's already been apparently murdered. Okay, so forward height. This looks different than this looks different from the stuff we've seen in other parts of the South here. I think I don't know if this is necessarily a distinct architectural style, but it feels like a different kind of Romanesque castle at least. Oh yeah, this is a good way to probably judge, right? Like, do we see the same assets being used? Okay. Let's check here. Here we go. Yeah, thanks, Night Scout. Also, love glowstones more than the torture lamp because the light is white rather than orange makes them more visible. Yeah, I'll be. I don't know if I'll be using them as much as torches because I only have so many glowstones, but I will be working. Oh, this is Godric's Men, right? Yeah. Okay, so I'm already seeing. I think this is the same asset as in Fort Height. I'm seeing some angular tower structures here, so. Yeah, I think this is the same style. So, Castle Morn, Fort Height, and I assume it's the same thing with Fort Gale, right? There we go. You can craft them. Oh, that's right. Crafting's a thing. Oh, no. Oh, no. All these guys are here. Yeah, same assets. I assume it's the same at Fort Pharos. I'm sorry, Faroff. I saw that as I was going in the animation. I was like, oh no, moments before disaster. So now I have to operate under the possibility that all these forts were built by the Banished Knights originally and were taken over rather than built by the Erdtree Order proper. I guess that's possibly what we see with some of these villages too, like the Kaled Waypoint Ruins, Kylum. Is it Kylum or Kelum? I cannot remember how this is spelled in Japanese. I have to double check. Forsaken Ruins is like a town village thing, so that's not important. Yeah, it's mostly these ruins that are more... These both could end up being Banished Knight facilities. But to be fair, we don't really see anything in the way of cities here, do we? Right? We have some stuff here, but this is more related to these churches and things. We have the village here. There it is. No, these are the demi-human... Oh, yeah, I guess this could have been the Banished Knight, a Banished Knight's town beforehand, huh? Yeah. Mistwood Ruins, again, it's another, like, ruins that's, like, on the side here as, like, a waypoint, so that's not crazy. Third Church of America. This is where Godfrey and company leave, right? So Is there a fourth church? Fourth church? Yeah, there's fourth church. So yeah, this is the third, fourth. Did we find the second, by the way? I don't think we found the first. Here, maybe? Yeah, okay, yeah, Second Church America. Just a random church. Or is it? This may have been during the Glomide Queen Rebellion, given its positioning relative to Gelmir. That's the only thing I can think of, because it has to be an event between basically Godfrey leaving and Godfrey giving her her age of the Erd Tree. So there's a lot of stuff that happens in between those two, but I can't only think of so many that would involve building a church here on the plateau. Let's double check here. I know I've checked before. Hey, I-Man, good to see you. I know I've checked this before, but... Okay, let's see. While you're checking Miss Begotten, I want to mention something regarding possible Crucible worship. Okay, Night Scout. With how Miss Begotten are seen as a punishment for making contact with the Crucible, it'd be peculiar for Crucible symbols weren't likewise shunned. I can see that to an extent, but the problem is that we again see the Crucible being showcased in icon shields and stuff. It seems to be the problem is not the Crucible itself, it's more so the stuff that's touched by the Crucible and showing excess. And if you want my opinion, that only really crops up after Omen show up. And that's then realized to be because of the Crucible. I think that's when people are like, ooh, ill. If you want my opinion. But, like, again, I don't have a huge informed take on this, so I could be missing something there. It's as if the Age of Plenty had a time when it was considered after the Crucible, so Miss God RC is backwards instead of hopeful. Again, it's not after the Crucible. Age of Plenty is 100% mid-Crucible era. Yeah, I've got the doc on Discord, which is what I'm going to be probably refining before I send it to Smotown, hence this stream. I'm doing the second, by the way. I was tempted to, like, just say, you know, fuck it, gonna go to sleep. But, yeah, I'm like, no, I wanna get this all finished because, you know, I took a lot of time out of my schedule today to do this for Smotown, so I wanna at least do it right. Yeah, this is Erd Tree burials being done here, right? With the flowers, again, as I was saying. Told the lore hunter that. He's gonna keep his eye open. It'll be very interesting when we see future videos on architecture, which I hope he does, by the way. I really am enjoying that architecture series. As someone who is not very familiar with some of the architectural terms, I actually forgot I used Romanesque in my Abyssal Archive manuscript. Very fascinating watching that stuff. Let's see, we got the... Yeah, it's a Church of America, and it's facing right to Gelmir, so... Where's that hero's grave? There it is. That's probably the grave that was built, the graveyard built specifically because of that battle with the Great Serpent and the Glomite Queen and all that. East Ramparts. This is where I think I saw those banners, so I'm going to look back at them. Hey, Vens, good to see you. Glowstones are Duke-Kiss to Urba and Rune Fragments, two of the most plentiful crafting materials. You'd probably be good for glowstones. Let's see. The problem is I can't remember how much I've been gathering up crafting materials. Wait. Oh no, I don't think I have the recipe for glowstones. Oh no. So yeah, I have to find that first. Yeah, here it is. So we have these banners. They're not really in... I mean, they're kind of in storage here. Kind of. Because this is not the main area, right? Yeah, no. This is like a side rampart that leads to a side entrance. I can't remember, guys. Is there a complete, like, actual, like, good quality version of this, or are they all tattered like this, too? If so, we might just have to ignore the tattered status. Oh, you know what? I think the golden flower ones actually sprout flowers, while these are like, you know, sprouts. Like they haven't blossomed yet. Yeah, we have all these banners here. So this is being used formally in a church. So, okay. Might not even have any relation to Banished Knights then. You have the gold color here. You have the lamps with the glowstones? Question mark? Yeah, that ain't looking like real flame. That looks like a crystal of some kind. Or something. Maybe it's like a crystallized flower petal or some shit? Yeah, because they can do normal flames, right? Like, okay. I never paid attention to that detail before. I'm gonna have to look more closely at this stuff. It looks like a flower petal. Like, it looks hollow in some angles. Yeah, and there's more of these banners. Yeah, I get the feeling they made these for like Stormvale Castle, and then they start copy pasting them elsewhere without being concerned of, hey, isn't this thing being actively used? Shouldn't it be in better quality? Who cares? That's my thought at the moment. We have the towers here. Adele, Forsaken. Let's go to Fortified Manor. Maybe the wording is different in Japanese, but the English sounds more like any in contact with the Crucible rather than too much. I have to double check. I think you're right on the wording, but I think it depends on the item. Also, thanks Thens for taking the screenshot of the Bolitarian Winged Swordsman and Dragon Banners and the PS3 Demon Souls. Oh yeah. I asked Thens if he could grab that for confirmation after you stated that Night Scout, because I was like, huh. And I knew about these banners, I just didn't notice the dragon head details, which was, again, very neat. Nomad Cookbook 2 sold by Kale. Well, there might be a problem there, Platty. I think Kale is dead. Actually, no. Kale's alive because he's still named, right? He's a named character, so... Sorry, not Kale. Kale. I keep seeing that name and saying Kale. I'm sorry, Kale. That's why they put a fancy little apostrophe atop your E. Those Erdtree banners basically show up all throughout Lindell, though, even on the main road. On the main road, too? Or are we talking about the golden banners? Like the one in the round table old. Hey, Joel, welcome on in. Oh, the glowstones you can throw, maybe? Maybe glowstones. I have to... They do have the same white color, don't they? Let's test something. Yeah, I guess it could be glowstones. No, this looks too whole. Glowstones, these glowstones, at the very least, it's not the exact same kind of glowstones as the one used. Now, maybe it's the idea is that they're glowstones, but they're kind of shaped or whatever, like they've been carved to look more like flames or something, right? That could be it, and that's why they kind of have that, like, hollowy, tattered look to them. That could be it. Okay, so we got Erdtree. 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 Plain chairs, relatively speaking. Again, more tree banners. Uh-huh. Now the interior here looks a bit different compared to what we... Oh god, we had a little bit of a frame drop there. A little different from what we see in other areas. Beast crests. Banished Knight with more Beast crest shields. Again, we have the dragon heads here. Spears. Ow. Commoner shoes. Dragon banners. I'm trying to see if there's anything I feel like I'm missing. Lothar Kroll family strikes again. They really couldn't help themselves. The road where the Erdtree have at me, not outside Lindell. Okay. It'll also be sold by the Twin Husk if you give it Kale's bell bearing. That's true. It's always, you can always go to the nice old ladies. Just dropping by for a moment. No problem, Joel. Stay as long as you need. No need to force. No need to force it. Okay, doggy. Now that I'm safe from you. Uh-huh. I don't know, this feels like slightly different. This feels like slightly different style with here and what we see maybe in Morn and Stormvale and stuff, but I may be misremembering. Uh-huh. Reese Crest. More of the... This. Oh. Do these have the holes in them from the Godwin thing? Yeah, they do, kind of. Again, because the Godwin thing is obviously like a last minute edit. Oh. Okay, yeah, this is definitely something, because this isn't glowing, but it has the, Yeah, because look, this is all bright and shiny. This one isn't. So there's something, there's some sort of crystal or something being used here. Then you got normal flames here. Misaligned flames, I should say. Like the Where is this fire coming from? Like, what? Oh, from these cups? What? This is so wrong. This is not how it's supposed to happen. Why? Why do I have to spy these things when I'm just trying to look at other stuff? Why? Why you do this to me? Jeez. America really loves surrounding yourself with Erdtrees. Okay, yeah, so we get the golden flowers here. Again, I have to compare exactly because it looks like these flowers are like actual blossom. Yeah, I don't think the other statue has flowers that look like that. I think it's more so like buds. We got the crucible symbol here. Though again, now if this was a Banished Knight facility, it's possible this round table already existed for the Banished Knights and that they just Godfrey and company co-opted the crucible symbol. Wouldn't that be funny if it's not like Tarnished Archaeologist says, and it's not that the black tree banners belong to like a Great Tree era that the Banished Knights and people come from? It's actually this that got co-opted. I would laugh so hard if that turned out to be the case. But yeah, we see the axe along with the swords. How many swords are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, no wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we got 10 swords. So it's not the full 16 of the Crucible Knights, at least. How many chairs are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are not enough chairs for this round table. I've been lied to. Also, I'm surprised that didn't break. Oh, never mind. We have more of these statues. We have more hawks. We have Erdtrees. We have the throne, much like, this is clearly a throne for Godfrey, much like what we see with the Elden Throne. God, I forget it does that. And the one in Stormvale. Like, why do you have a tree divider? Like, what is this dividing you for? Like, is it for, like, when Godfrey wants to do a quick change, he just pulls this out in the corner or some shit? Like, Sometimes you gotta wonder why they have these things. Man, I would hate to be the servant whose job is to light the flames on all these every day. Again, you have all these crystals. Why are you having normal flames here? Also, who the hell is lighting this at this hour? It's the Dark Souls 3 candles all over again. Uh-huh. Yeah, we know that with our friend here. Alright, let's very quickly check this out. When you want to hide some people behind them, of course. Oh, of course, Joel. How could I forget? The assassins. It's always the assassins. Gotta have a bunch of assassins protecting their liege from behind those things. Oh no, this isn't the way. This is not the way. This is the way. First, I don't think Godfrey traded axes. I think these are all just ornaments for the table. I do not think they would just like, they're like, hey, let's make some ugly ass tree axes just to be ornaments. I mean, I guess maybe if they wanted the things to represent trees and wasn't actually supposed to be serious like weapons, maybe. I don't know. I find it extremely weird that be the symbol they'd go with. I don't see Sarash wielding an axe when the Far Missoula weapons are so well weird. I don't think anyone... Is there anyone saying that Sarash wielded an axe? I think most people are saying that Godfrey's axe comes from Sarash of Far Missoula make. I think that would be the argument. Now again, this is kind of like the Revenger sword, where it's like, okay, how much are we supposed to look at the little details there? Because we know from content that there were some different ideas for... Oh, my game crashed. Oh, it's just problems today, huh? The table is really intact, all things considered. If it's a symbolic oath table, that could work. I don't know. Why would you have a round table and be like, okay, we're going to do a symbolic oath by having all our weapons stabbed into the crucible symbol? I don't know. I think TA had a video saying that Godfrey took up Sarash's weapon after beating him. Of course TA would, darn. You know, I should always be like, if there's something that sounds kind of somewhat absurd or a little wacky to me, I should always be asking, is it something TA said? Baba's got you covered. What do I got covered now, Platty? Oh, because the old ladies. Gotcha. I'm like, which grandma are we talking about here? Oh yeah, while you're in Lindell, I know something odd in another stream. The skeletons in Lower Lindell and the foot soldiers nearby don't seem to fight each other. I don't know if that really means too much there, Night Scout, but it is an interesting detail. I'll shelve that for later. Glowstone does have a timer before it starts. Gotcha, Xavier. Alright, so is there anything else that I want to double check? Hitbox only active on your shins and ankles. If you land flat-footed, it won't break. Interesting. At least in this game, you have flame monks who could light them all pretty easily. There we go. Load-bearing candle staff. I'm not sure what that's a reference to. I also just don't really buy Godfrey using a weapon before becoming Godfrey. He seems more comfortable without weapons as Horalu. Yeah, I think that'd be the best argument, honestly. That, yeah, Hello? Alright, we're going this way. Yeah, I think that's the best argument, honestly, that Godfrey seems to be the type that, when he's a barbarian, he doesn't use any weapons. He just fights, barehanded. I think that would definitely be the case to make. At least the axe is consistent with Beastman crafting styles, has the same pattern as the Beastman's Janker. So yeah, I would not say that it's Sarash's axe. I would say that it was probably made in the same methods that make the Beastman's weaponry. Which again, the way that again, this goes back to a point I made where the idea is that the giants are like smiths and stuff, and the Japanese is somewhat more vague on this, but if we go with the assumption that yes, the giants are the originators of smithing, that still works. I mean, there's this large assumption for some reason that Far Missoula like isn't around and active during the era of Godfrey, and it's like, Ancient Dragon War, hello. You think the ancient dragons just were like kind of like chilling around a bunch of floating, sky-faring, tornadoes spewing Far Missoula for the longest time, and then they were just like, ah, we'll just randomly attack. Like, there's obviously some organization there. Or maybe not. Maybe Grand Sax just decided he was going to randomly attack on his own before anybody else could catch up to him, and they're like, oh, well, I guess we're stuck in this war now. Okay, yeah, these banners are used for Erdtree. These aren't the black banners, though. I was like, black banners you were talking about Night Scout or the other ones? No, okay, these are the gold ones. I think those crafted lines show up on the blacksmith anvils too, though, and a few other spots. I'll have to double check that. Let's see, what's a good anvil to check out? I guess EG, right? Sarash seems more like he'd use a hammer anyway based on the weapon Garang gives. I'll be honest, I don't think Sarash uses any weapon. But I suppose, yeah, if we had to pick a weapon. No, Night Scout, this does not look like that. At least not this one. Let's check the one in Round Table. Oh, hey, more multi-branch statues. Does the center spot have balloon flowers on them? We're going to have to go back in the VOD if you want to confirm that, I think. Why are you here? I hate you. You're awful. You're ugly. You're a distraction every time I spawn in. Who the frick decided that you were placed best here? Like, they could have placed you here and it would be better. Why? Why there? It's so ugly and cluttered. Again, these inconsistency with... Oh. Well, that won't be in the Let's Play. I guess I'm just gonna have to apologize to people, because I couldn't help myself. I was just so shocked to see him dead. Alright, let's look here. What do we got? Nope. Nope. Still different style from the one we see in the Far Missoula. This, though, I think, is used somewhere. I think this is reused from something, though. I can't remember where exactly. The anvils are more organized with their lines, whereas Far Missoula weapons are more sprawling, but it's similar. No, they're not. They're completely different details inside the squigglies. Like, no. Yeah, no. Listen, I just saw the video. I know exactly what they look like. That's not it. I got quite the close-up look at them already. Let's see. Nothing here, nothing here. Yeah, the hawks on this bridge are normal, so this is a god, the grafting is a Godric thing. Tombs Ward, Fourth Church America. Tombs Ward has I think one of the Weeping Ever Jail. So this is like, I guess, one of the Tarnished who refuse to leave, so he gets locked up in an Ever Jail instead. Castle Mornlift, behind the castle, Rampart. Let's check this. Unlikely Night Scout, because Godfrey and company invade Far Missoula. So I don't think it was just a no man's land. Yeah, we just have the graves here. Nothing to really indicate if these were Erdtree or Banished Night graves, just their graves. We still see the perimeter walls that have been knocked down since. Same styles and stuff. Again, angular towers and things. Okay, so that's pretty consistent. Then we have, of course, the... Oh, no, never mind. we have this, so we could say, okay, this is Banished Knight Burial, which makes sense. Because these obviously would be where a bunch of Banished Knights were living. I guess some of these could be Erdtree people, but we definitely know, okay, yeah, this included Banished Knight people. At least one. Yep, okay. And there's also the graves here. Do any of these graves tell us anything? Nope. 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 Okay. Actually, now that I give this a second look, I know, because the hero was next to Erdtree roots before, right? So this could still be Erdtree Burial. Trying to think of anything else that I'm really missing here on how we should define this. Mistwood, where are the forts? Fort Gale. Fort Faroth. I don't see any other forts here that are worth looking at besides Castle Sol. Ah, wait. No, that's the lookout tower. That's not the same thing. I think there's another tower up here, right? Yeah, Frenzy Flame Tower. So yeah, all the forts down here may actually be all Banished Knight buildings that were repurposed afterward. Uh-huh. Just want to quickly take this screenshot. Celia Gateway. Check for Faroth real quick. Imagine the Zamor was there for a similar kind of reason as Adon was in Liurnia, though maybe not for a malicious one. Adon... Oh, for stealing something, you think? What does the Zamor boss give you if you kill him? Farum Azula seems too ruined if it was involved in the Ancient Dragon War, despite a friendship at the end. The place looks super baited for ages. Looks like nobody even swept the floor there. I mean, let's be honest, Night Scout. A bunch of beasts live there. Do you really think they're sweeping the floor? I'm not trying to be beastist or anything. I'm just saying. I somehow don't think the dragons and all the canines care too much about some filth on the ground. Anyway, the one Banished Knight looking out from Caelid seems to be wistfully looking toward Fort Height. Ooh, that's true, Platy. He is kind of wistfully looking out. So that would make sense, yeah. So it could be idea that a bunch of Banished Knights, they had, like, facilities and stuff, and it's like, okay, so Godfrey goes from Stormvale all the way, he clears all the way down south and west, right? So he wants to clear all this western half, right? Then he goes to the east, right? Because this is where the, he now has the high ground, right? So then he finally starts going through here. And then he gets Fort Height. And he pushes basically the Banished Knights up into Caelid here. And they already have all their forts and stuff here along the coast. So then he starts clearing out. He goes back up here and clear. Yeah, there's where's the pathway? Yeah, there's some path that leads you back up, I recall. And then he goes up here, and then he starts. We have obviously the church and stuff here, but he goes in and he starts clearing out the north. He establishes the Colosseum, and from there, again, he's probably doing all this while Stormvale's probably like his main base of operations. But he's probably here campaigning, being like, boom, 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 boom. Assuming Redmane is also a Banished Knight facility originally, then boom. Then of course he turns Tarnished. As we know, he leaves Caelid, hears words from Marika. Marika's of course leading them here, where we hear the end of Marika's speech. Yeah, I think we hear the speech here, which is a bit weird because this is the Radigan Church. It would make more sense if it was here, but who knows? Maybe it was a mistake on Miyazaki's part. Yeah, because this is the third church, isn't it? Yeah. A little weird, but whatever. Either way, yeah, we get the idea that, of course, all of this is where the Long March happened. And then the Carian Study Hall. So we know how the Liurnian Wars went, right? Actually, where's the first Liurnian War monument? Does anyone remember? Sore Seal in Fort Faroth, Scar Seal in Zamor at Weeping. I see, Pleddy. So Radigan's Scar Seal. Wait. Radigan's Scar Seal? Oh, okay, then, yeah, that's definitely, after... That has to be after, Oh, no, it could still work. Never mind. I was like, no, wait, no, because Radigan's still around. Okay, Radigan's around before he becomes Elden Lord, so yeah, okay, that could still work with Zamor. It could be the idea that Marika, kind of another hint that Marika is Radigan because she applies Radigan's Scar Seal or whatever to the Zamor guy. Because if I recall correctly, isn't the idea with their talismans that it's like an actual eyeball? Engraved with an Elden rune said to be the seal of King. Yeah, so it's an actual eyeball. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so where's the monument for the first Liurnian War? Presumably the beast would still be sane before the war if Farum Azula still functioned. Otherwise, there would be crazy beast swordsmen all over their own city. Again, when I get to Farum Azula proper, I'll be sure to have a... Oh. I don't want to fight you today. I'm kind of doing my own thing, so I'm going to ignore you. But I'll remember to come back to you now that I know that apparently I haven't killed you. Don't worry, I promise I will one-shot you like all the others. I cannot remember where this stupid sword monument is. Alright, let's make my life easier. Thank you. The first is that the one on the east side, south of the tower? On the east side, south of the tower. No, that one is for Millennia, if I recall correctly. Oh, are you talking about the tower up here? That might be it. Let me come here. So she engraved their eyes as a boon? It could also be a punishment. The only option I can think of is that she gave the Zamor an eye. Another person's eye with the seal in it, but I'm not sure if I buy that. Nothing really I see here. Would the Scar Seal's description imply that the talisman was made only after Radigan had a personal mark associated with him being Elden Lord? Let me double check. Let's see. That's a very good question, Night Scout. Oh, our talisman's back here, right? Yeah. Okay. No, that's shields. There we go. I gotta remember to, like, go backwards for these. I always go left to right instead. Need to brush up on my manga reading skills, clearly. Oh, lol. More complicated. Let's look at Scar Seal. The seal represents the lifelong duty of those chosen by the gods. Solemn duty weighs upon the one beholden, not unlike a gnawing curse from which there is no deliverance. Said to be the seal of King Consort Radigan. I don't think so, because we see the seal... Yeah, I don't think this is necessarily saying, oh, this was definitely Radigan only after he became King Consort Tamerica as Elden Lord. Because we also see the same seal used in stuff like, say, the Liurnia era with Renala and stuff, right? Like, the seals used here have his sign mixed with the Karian symbol, right? So yeah, I think this is completely unrelated. You could probably one-shot that Knight's Cavalry with a Glintstone Pebble by this point. First thing is by the Bellum Church. So I was just there. If I recall correctly, hey Alfredo, by the way, I think you're the first time in here. Good to see you. If I recall correctly, that sword monument is by the Great Lift of the Dectus Path. Gotcha, guys. So we're gonna keep going forward. So you have the Radigan Church. Yeah, there it is. I missed it. If I just went a little farther, I would see now. I was like, I could have sworn I would see it by now. Oh, I remember this. This is because of this stupid thing. Yeah. First Name War, Radigan's. Okay, yeah. So this is the one where Radigan first gets pointed out for making his mark. Okay, so Lyrian Wars. So I placed this as in my. Let me pull out my handy schmandy chart. Okay, so this is what we got. So we have Crucible Era, Dying Crucible Era, Erdtree Era. That's the three crests that the incantations are associated with, and that's how I divide it up in this chart. So during Crucible Era, we have Horalu becomes Godfrey, the Altus Plateau unification, the banishment to the penal colonies, the Giant War, the Age of the Erdtree. Again, this is like Age of Plenty starting specifically, but basically Age of the Erdtree formally starts according to America. The Godskin / Serpent Rebellion after a certain point during there. America becomes Internal Queen. Then that results in the Dying Crucible Era, where we get the Omen Curse, the Age of Plenty formally ending, the first Erdtree seeds get sown, America begins researching order, which leads us into the Erdtree Era, which is, of course, the Liurnian Wars. So we have Radigan showing up because, again, if America wants knowledge, if she wants some int for her faith build, she's gonna go to the land with all the knowledge on the universal principles and shit. So she's like, okay, let's just conquer it. So Liurnian Wars happen, but Radigan fails to get past the stalemate both times, so we end up with America suing for peace and having Radigan and Renala marry. Then Ancient Dragon War. Then the penal colonies rebelling basically at the same time, right? I only put it after because, well, they smell the blood in the water, obviously, so it's slightly different. And then duel with the Stormlord after, because Ancient Dragon War gets finished up, and then Godfrey has to deal with the stuff bound south. So we get the duel with the Stormlord at Castle Stormvale Castle. Then you get Siege of Castle Morn, like I mentioned. Then Godfrey's last battle in Caelid. And then finally we get the Long March and Radigan marrying America, right? So Liurnian War I place first on this list for immediate relevancy, and just it avoids stepping on other events and crap like that. And then we have, so it's like, okay, so first war was basically a straight up thing, right? It seems like they went the direct route. It was like, hey, we're gonna go directly and try to attack them, and then they clearly ended up in a stalemate, getting pushed back by the Academy. They got rebuffed. So then the second idea was, okay, we'll go around the side route and try to flank them this way, right? So the armies are going around there, and then of course that's where we get the second battle, which is like around here-ish, right? And that's where the Church of Vows ends up sitting. Gotta double check some things. I want to just make sure I'm not missing anything on good old Churchy. I want to make this smaller. There we go. Yep, all normal graves. Nothing to see here. So you got these saint statues / paladin statues, but they hold torches instead. We got the Nox statue. We got the Turtle Pope. Darn, I wanted to land on top of him. I hate it, chat. The game just doesn't... I'm not holding the controller, by the way. I stop as soon as the jump is done. Where's the High Priestess statues? There's one. Where's the other? I could have swore, isn't there like another one or a broken one or something around here? Well, whatever. Oh, neat. There's a bell up there. I never even noticed. That's cool. We have the Karian Study Hall with the Cerulean Seed there. So again, we know that this Radigan basically uses the marriage to Renala to help Marika get her int up. So they could end up founding Golden Era fundamentalism when Radigan gets back and becomes Elden Lord. It already seems to be an Elden Rune, which would be odd for Radigan to have if he was a mystery man. And as Muriel puts it, a mere champion. Elden Rune? What are we talking about? Are we talking about? Oh, you mean the seal and stuff that Radigan is using? I don't know. Is that a rune, or is it just again? Is it just like some sort of magic symbol? Also, if Zamora was imprisoned during the Lyrian Wars, wouldn't he have one day been freed once the Truce and Alliance had... Oh, no, I'm not saying that this Zamora guy was during the Radigan era. I stick by what I said. This is a Tarnished who has been fighting with Godfrey ever since the Giant Wars, right? We have another one that is here in this grave. This is probably during the Ancient Dragon War, right? Because this is where, like, the Fortis Sax battle took place, right? So this is probably the similar idea here, if I recall, because I think there's there's the Zamor, and I think there's another, like, a Crimson Seed talisman here, right? So it's the idea is like, okay, this is post Crucible era ending and the seeds going out, post Giant War, obviously. So you have this ancient hero of Zamor who fights in the Erdtree army, I guess, and then he gets made, I guess, like Gravekeeper or whatever for there. And then this guy, he seems to be probably one of the Tarnished who ends up getting locked up in this Ever Jail because I guess he refused to leave. He was like, no, I don't want to leave because you say so, Marika. I don't care what your simp of a husband says. We know how this is. Coastal Cave. Radigan's Sigil is a magic symbol, but seems to have been integrated into the Elden Ring as a great rune, which we have full precedent for adding runes to the Elden Ring. Ooh, that is an interesting idea, I suppose. We also have to keep in mind that the Greater Will likely sent Radigan, so it's quite possible that Radigan's Scar Seal / Elden Rune or whatever it was came with the territory of him being added to Marika. That's another possibility we have to consider. If you can shoot the bell, then ER is Dark Souls 2 too. Confirmed. Tia made interesting observations of the building at the end of his second Three Fingers video. I assume you're talking about the church, or is it the Karian Study Hall? There's a design on the bell. Need free cam? Yeah, we need free cam, clearly. Can you shoot the bell, though? If Marika potentially started as a Newman with possible ties to Nokron, wouldn't she have started with the int build, so to speak, before going to Faith to become a god? See, now that's the question. Was she, as a Newman, coming from directly the Nox, or anything like that, or is it something else? I guess the question would be, do Newman, before the Nox, were they intelligence reliant, or were the Nox the ones who decided, no, we need to properly understand our stuff? And that Newman were basically relied on faith or arcane or something. Actually, int might not have been a big thing in the Nox either way, because again, their thing does revolve around arcane stuff, so it might be purely about this knowledge about the secrets of the gods and mysticism and all that stuff, and not actually anything about like formal rationale, reasoning, intelligence type deal. Yeah. I'm gonna have to think that over. Hey Loki, when would you place the start of the Golden Order fundamentalism? Right after the Giants War, when Radigan becomes Elden Lord, somewhere in between? After Radigan becomes Elden Lord, like I just said on my list. Radigan marries Marika is the end of the Erdtree era proper that I have on my little timeline chart that I got here, and the idea seems to be, so Marika, let's go to the church here. So here, this minor Erdtree church, this is when the first so basically Crucible era ends. Erdtree realizes its mortality, its life threatened, blah blah blah, right? No more eternal perfect Erdtree, so it starts sending out seeds, right? Now some of these seeds, as we see, become the phantom trees that are getting apparently some nice little pruning done, right? Because they build the entire highway and stuff around these seeds. So it's like, okay, they do that. And then as we can see, there's this one which becomes a slightly bigger minor Erdtree. though not as big, of course, as the full minor Erd trees that have not been touched. But this is where we get the Golden Order fundamentalism seal from this guy resting here. And this seems to be because Marika's words tell us, oh, she's going to start researching her order. She has no idea what this thing is, kind of important after the whole Crucible fiasco. So she's like, okay, I'm going to start researching this, and then she starts studying the seeds. And, well, we can see what this seed ended up growing into with some careful control and not allowed to freely turn into a giant full minor Erd tree. But suffice to say, the idea is that, okay, so first seeds go out. She has that, and then she starts the Liurnian Wars as Radigan. Again, it doesn't go exactly as she originally planned, probably. Where her probably original idea was, okay, I'll just conquer Liurnia, and then I'll have access to all its knowledge. Instead, she's like, okay, I'll have Radigan basically infiltrate Liurnia by marrying as part of this peace agreement. And then once he's married to the queen and all that, and he's able to do all this stuff from the inside, right? He can do his studies, I'll be doing my own on the side, and we'll compare notes when we come back together, right? And that seems to be the idea when Godfrey gets sent out, and Marika's like, okay, I'm going to call Radigan back over. And Radigan, like the good little dog he is, comes back to his future wife, and, well, then Golden Order fundamentalism is born there. The Nox do have sorceries, though. It's just playing God with Albinorix that seems arcane. I have to double check, then. Because, let me actually check one thing. I guess it has to be arcane for this, right? Where's the Night Maiden's Mist? Yeah, that's in arcanes. It's very low, though. Like, that's something we do have to keep in mind, though. It's very low on int, relatively speaking. Like, what's my basic? Yeah, my basic Pebble is, like, 10. So this is, like, slightly more advanced. So this is, like, let's assume, like, 12 and 14 is, like, ooh, this is, like, relatively advanced for a society or whatever. Like, what is that? I guess you'd also want to include, the night sorceries, right? Because they're influenced by, Nah, I don't want to say that because they have the Academy of Rhea Lucaria involved, too, so that could be tainting the results there. But yeah, it does seem like they at least have some intelligence background. I just don't know if it's as strong as their arcane background. So that way we can say, like, well, maybe Marika would have a lot more intelligence there. Like, I don't know, maybe if she's got, like, let's say again, just to put a number on it, like, I don't know, 18 intelligence, like, that could be, like, really good compared to the average person, but it might not be enough for what Marika needs to do. I don't know. I'm gonna look into that. Oh, look at that, another tree. It's not just the one. There's 3 trees of awakening. Oh, very interesting. Very interesting indeed. What is Radagon? A rune from the Elden Ring personified? A guy from Lindell? Who or what is he? He's Marika's other half there. Aerodynamism. Eternal Darkness is also Noxian. That's based on, what's his face? Estelle. Do I have Eternal Darkness? I think I could have swore I did. I might have put it away. That might be it. Memorize. Where is it? Oh, Sword Chest, that's why. Okay, yeah. There's Eternal Darkness. Unfortunately, I can't really see the crest from here, so I don't know which crest it's using. No, that looks like Eternal City, so this is probably Eternal City too. Originally Lost Source. Okay, yeah, it's a Lost Source of the Eternal City. Okay, yeah. So we have this church here. So it sounds like a Nox made it rather than Estelle accidentally being like, wing shedding. Yeah, okay, so, yeah. The Eternal Darkness is, I'm not saying that Estelle left it. I'm saying that, like, it was created in the wake of Estelle, like, destroying one of the Eternal Cities, right? Like, it's like, oh, we saw this. We make this now, right? So I guess you could say it's based on the experience with Estelle. I don't think it was something like, oh, Estelle uses power. Because, again, I don't think we see many examples of sorceries being like based on like people like leaving raw energy or anything like that, right? That seems more in the vein of maybe I don't even think incantations could work. Like miracles, maybe. Because miracles don't necessarily need the story per se, but I don't know if that's the same that could apply to incantations. But did Marika create Ratigan? Probably not. I think it's more likely it was more likely the Greater Will. Because you have to keep in mind what the Greater Will's problem is. The Greater Will had an Empyrean selected to replace Marika, and then Marika kind of killed the Empyrean and removed the Rune of Death so that way she would never die. She's like, I'm immortal, bitch. What are you gonna do now? And I'm the only one who controls death. So, like, it's like, oh, Greater Will's like, I did not see that coming. Hey, Shadow Beast, weren't you supposed to be, like, you know, making sure that Marika will accept the new order and not go against the will of the fingers? You know, the fingers that I had select the new Imperium. Cough, cough, Melina. It's like, oh, Malekith kind of just ignored and / disobeyed orders and helped Marika slay the Empyrean. Like, the fuck? So I think that's basically the reason that Ratigan gets created. The so-called Dog of the Golden Order, as Marika ultimately calls him. It seems that basically Ratigan's like, oh, he's basically Marika's good boy until she does something that the Greater Will doesn't like, at which point he's steps in to be like, no. Now, I don't know how that affects things with the final boss battle. Again, I have to get that far. But that seems to be the thing, right? Like, Ratigan's trying to keep the Elden Ring together. I also think there's a sense of sentience, too. I get the feeling that probably Ratigan was a lot closer to being like Marika, hence why you have the thing about him being so mad and hating his red locks and all that. Because I think at least initially he definitely did, because he was basically just Marika, and Marika despised the giants and stuff, right? So it's like, oh my god, I can't believe I've been cursed with this. And then I think he slowly gained individuality by marrying Renala and stuff like that. And I think that's where we get Ratigan becoming his own person, right? And truly, like, sort of embracing his identity. But of course, he still has those lingering connections as basically just, again, Marika's other half. So when Marika calls, he listens. Even though it makes him sad, that's why he leaves the egg and stuff like that. Because it's like, you know, kind of like, I don't want to say a resistance, but sort of like that one little self-expression where it's like, okay, I can't go against my programming, but I can at least do this for you. And then, this is like my personal will and all that. And then, yeah, let's look through the graveyard one last time. And then after that, of course, we see during the whole fundamentalism and stuff, I think that's where Ratigan becomes, he kind of merges his programming with his individuality together, right? Because he has this like ingrained loyalty to the Golden Order, it seems. But then, yeah, add on top of that, him becoming so obsessed with fundamentalism and obviously the study of trying to create the perfect order and things like that. I think that's where his behavior stems from. Well, I guess I'm gonna keep on stealing. It's just a rune. No one's gonna miss it in the Let's Play if I don't leave that be. Again, I'm just seeing the exact same style of graves. Though it is interesting to note that there are I can't remember if these little, like, impressions or whatever were in the graves in Dark Souls 3. I want to say they were. But yeah, I can't recall exactly. It kind of reminds me of the Finger Slayer, not Finger Slayer, the Finger, shield. You know, the stone shield with all, like, the fingerprints in it? Yeah, it just kind of reminds me of that for some reason. I don't know if that's intentional or not. Okay, who the hell is hanging these golden statues that were buried in the ground? I'm just saying. Come on, Miyazaki. Okay, there's the dead tree from Godwin. There's Grand Saix. God, that is low poly. God, that's low poly. How is it that this background stuff is higher polygons than the stuff in the foreground? What is this shit? FromSoft, you got some splaining to do. Also, oh my god, is that atrocious looking. You know what? This is why we shouldn't need to look with our telescope at anything, clearly. It leads us to see things that man was never meant to. They're from Ring City / Gods. Great. Yeah, I'm aware where the content in Dark Souls 3 is from, Nobre. I'm trying to think about their context in here, though. I can't remember if the Dark Souls 3 versions had those same prints on them, or if they were added with this model. I know they removed, like, the dendrification and stuff that was from Dark Souls 3. That was nice. I wonder if America intended Radigan to give up the Great Rune of the Unborn. If Radigan's such a leal hound, going rogue to remove a chunk of the Elden Ring for governing birth and reincarnation? Yeah, that is a good question, isn't it, Night Scout? Where did Radigan get that Great Rune from? If so, did he get it from the Elden Ring? Like, did he really, like, go to the Elden... Like, that's a weird part. Did he go to the Elden Ring, leave the Elden Ring, and... Wait. Is it possible that the rune was created... No, because it's definitely a Great Rune for the Elden Ring, right? Because I was wondering what if the Great Rune was created or used for the purposes of Radigan's creation. That would be interesting. Yeah, I'm just seeing the same stuff we always see. We see the skeletons with the golden bones, like Ensha. They, like all the other skeletons, have the Sun Capital Shield, which again, I don't know how relevant it is, or if it's just a matter of this is the generic model they had for like something during the concept stage, which changed, and we're just supposed to look at the shield by itself without the context of the skeletons in each and every location. Because that's a lot of skeletons. But yeah, there's definitely this idea that these golden skeletons are the fallen soldiers of the Revengers armies. Our poor little mourn, angry, sad boy. I don't know, chat. I think I've exhausted everything I can with regards to Godfrey and checking the environment for. I can't think of anything else that's like, that might be something I want to check to make sure I'm right on. Like I said, we have the Carian Study Hall. That's covered. Stormvale Castle. That's covered. I do kind of want to look at the entrance again, though. So let's check for Market. I wonder if Renala's rune also governs death, but also rebirth. I don't know about the death part, because the rune of death, destined death, is already there. So it's like, Yeah, I don't know about that one. Rebirth seems to be its own thing, because it seems to be the focus on you're not dying to be living again, right? It's just sort of like you're being, you're alive and then you're alive again, like born again Christians or whatever, right? Are they using the same exact... No, okay, they actually did update their birds in the sky. Thank God they're not using the same Dark Souls 2/3 random bird gifs. That was embarrassing. The Lore Hunter suggested that these might be additions by Godric. I don't know about that. I'm pretty neutral on this, but it definitely, at the very least, it would be very fitting. It would be on brand, I guess would be the way to put it. Be very on brand of Godric. Interesting little lion gargoyles holding up these banners here. Again, chat, I'm getting really tired. It's really late. It's technically the next morning. I want to sleep. So I think we're going to be wrapping this up very shortly. We still have the angular tower design here, so yeah, I guess I'm misremembering. I thought the angular tower design was something else, but no. Oh, you know what it is? Because I'm mixing up with the rotunda here, right? That's probably what it is. Yeah, these are all angular here. Wait. I never picked these items up? Nani the fuck? I am so confuzzled. Also, imagine going through paperwork to enter Stormvale from here. It's like, ah, yes, 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 please hand us your immigration papers. It's like, goodness me. The things you have to go through to enter a castle. They really want to do the background checks. I didn't realize I left so much stuff in Stormvale untouched. My memory is truly a goldfish. Jarberg. Okay, yeah, guys. I can't think of anything else. I think we've covered everything, confirming every little detail we can about what takes place when in relation to Godfrey and stuff. So, yeah, I think we're going to end this here. Later, y'all. Hopefully we'll have a more formal stream tomorrow, today. I guess it's technically today. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. I'm going to sleep now. Bye-bye.